Hey guys, it's me again. This is our eighth time hanging out. Thanks for tuning in to my random rambling. Today, I want to talk about how I used to follow my grandma everywhere when I was a kid. There was a period when I lived at her place, and whenever I had a school break, she would ride her tricycle and take me all over town. 20 years ago, tech wasn't as advanced as it is now, so she rode a traditional manual pedal tricycle. She's upgraded to an electric one now, which is great, but honestly, I still miss the old one sometimes. The back of that pedal trike had this square cargo bit, just big enough to fit 10-year-old me. She always had it packed with random odds and ends, with a burlap sack laid out on the very bottom. Every time I hopped on, I'd push the clutter to the sides, fold up the tricycle's raincoat, and use it as a little pillow at the front. I'd lean against it, look up at the sky, surrounded by all that random stuff. It felt like I was being tucked in. With the gentle breeze, the rhythmic sound of the wheels, and the faint street noise. It was honestly so relaxing and really sleep inducing. The funny thing is, my grandma seemed to have an endless list of places to go every single day. She hated staying at home. Whenever she had free time, she was out and about. I was the exact opposite. I hated leaving the house. I always felt uncomfortable going out because I was a total homebody. But for some reason, I absolutely loved going out with my grandma. It didn't matter where we went. As long as she was heading out, I was right there with her, sticking to her like glue. I remember for a while, she took me to this one place pretty frequently. It looked like a storefront. Not very big, but it had these massive doors that were always wide open. Inside, there was this giant bizarre machine. It looked like a set of bleachers or stepped benches, kind of semi-enclosed, with a hollow center where people could go in and sit. It was huge, maybe 20 to 25 feet across. Pardon my description, my writing skills aren't the best when it comes to describing things. Every time we went, a bunch of elderly folks would already be there. Everyone just naturally found a spot on the machine to sit. If we got there late and the seats were full, people would automatically scoot over to make a little room for us so we could hop on too. Since everyone was from the same neighborhood, the vibe was really friendly. I went and sat there with her so many times, but I really had no idea why we were doing it. I was just her little shadow. Wherever she went, I followed. Then one day, right before we left, my grandma randomly said to me, "Sitting at that place is good for your health." I asked her why, and she explained that she heard the stair-like machine used some kind of electromagnetic force that was good for the body. I didn't really get it. I mean, I was 10. What did I know? Honestly, I didn't care if it was good for my health or not. I just liked wandering around with her. Looking back after all these years, sitting on that weird machine for so long actually did absolutely nothing, except make my butt really warm. The machine generated heat, and since it was the middle of summer, I was already hot, my butt was hot, and I was just sweating buckets. 20 years ago, the neighborhood was pretty poor, so obviously, there was no air conditioning. It was just heat on top of heat. Good thing I was young back then. If I had to do that now, I probably wouldn't survive it. But thinking about it more carefully now, the whole thing feels really sketchy. I strongly suspect that this so-called health machine was actually a scam run by fraudsters. They'd open up a shop, lure old folks in for free trials, And if the elderly actually believed it was improving their health, they'd try to sell them these bogus machines. But I was so young back then, I didn't know anything about those kinds of scams. Through my 10-year-old eyes, it was just a normal everyday routine, hanging out with my grandma, swinging my legs on a weird bench, and listening to her gossip with the neighbors. Through my grandma's eyes, it was a little shop with a machine that supposedly worked miracles, and she brought me along because she wanted me to be healthy too. But through the scammer's eyes, it was just a storefront with a massive prop to peddle fake benefits and trick a bunch of old folks into buying their stuff. It's crazy how the exact same event can take on a completely different nature depending on whose perspective you're looking from. Anyway, that's it for today's little story. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I'm Ping, a new YouTuber, and I'll catch you in the next one.